ich habe noch ein Video, was ich gerne mit euch schauen würde. Und zwar von einem Channel, den ich hin und wieder mal schon seit Jahren schaue. Und der hat ein Video gemacht, das ist schon ein bisschen was älter. Das ist, glaube ich, sechs Monate alt. Und zwar von Captain Disillusion. Das ist so ein Typ, der debunkt quasi so eine, ja, Fake-Videos im Internet. UFO on the Moon Debunk. Das würde ich mir gerne mal anschauen mit euch. Ich weiß nicht, ob ihr den Channel kennt. Ist ein sehr, sehr cooler Typ. Ist eigentlich ein Wish Life Hacks Guy, der halt sich so, kann man zum Beispiel so Alien-Clips anschaut und dann die debunkt und sowas. Finde ich sehr interessant. Ihr bestimmt auch. Rein, da, Abfahrt.
The internet comes at you fast. Mere hours after a French guy posted a plausible-looking video of unidentified objects orbiting the moon, captured of course by an anonymous friend, hordes of keen-eyed citizens analyzed every detail. They confirmed the phase and orientation of the moon against the time and place the footage is claimed to have been taken. Checks out. They identified the big crater, Endymion. They even calculated the size and speed of the objects, 10 to 20
So eine Triad.
kilometers across, traveling at a mere 300,000 kilometers an hour. Whoa, take it easy, Nerd Patrol. That's a lot of speculative math. How about we let a certified expert weigh in, like science
Sein Make-up ist immer so krass.
communicator and allegedly bad astronomer Dr. Phil Plait. Hi, Phil.
Hey, Captain.
So, how fast should an object be orbiting the moon at this altitude?
Well, a lot slower than 300,000 kilometers per hour. There's a formula that lets you calculate how fast an orbit is. First, you take the mass of the object.
So you're telling me the only way these things can be going that fast is if they're powered spacecraft operated by an alien intelligence?
What? No, I'm not saying that at all. You're looking at this the wrong way. You have to take a step back and look at the big picture. When a lot...
Hold that thought, Phil. I just realized we need to look at the big picture. It's not just the UFOs. This entire video
Oh mein Gott, jetzt kriegt die Verschwörungstheorie.
could be artificial. Creating a CG moon seems easy enough. There's gotta be a tutorial on that out there somewhere. Let's make a moon. Add a UV sphere and give it a subsurf modifier.
Wie heißt der nochmal? Ian. Wie heißt der Typ nochmal, der das macht? Oh, den feiere ich so sehr. Lazy Tutorials, Blender. Wie heißt der Typ nochmal? Ian Hubert. Ey, wenn ihr euch für Effekte interessiert und Ian Hubert noch nicht kennt, was ist los mit euch? Zieht ihn euch rein. Er ist so eine Legende einfach, Alter.
Smooth. Light the sphere from the side, all dramatic-like. It already comes with a handy UV map. All we need are some textures. Hey, look at that! NASA's got us a whole CG moon kit! Aw, NASA, how'd you know? Plug the color texture into the base color input, run the displacement texture through the height input of a bump node into the normal, and adjust the strength till it looks about right. Neil deGrasse Tyson might have something to say, but the mute button's right there. Play with more settings. It looks great! You're a good person. Now just model some stars, a galactic portal, a fleet of starships, map the whole thing onto a screen in a futuristic pipe room, 3D track your green screen actor into it, and you're on your
Ian Hubert ist so eine Legende.
way to approaching a fraction of
My unfathomable artistic prowess! Kneel before your blender god!
Alter.
You know, those tutorials
Ian Hubert ist aber wirklich der fucking Blender-Gott.
aren't as lazy as I thought. Still, some artists have made their own versions of the moon UFO video that are pretty on point. This one by Mendez is a close approximation, and this one by Catherine A. Ross imagines a different perspective. It's almost as good as I could make if I wanted to. Sorry, Phil, you were saying?
Thank you. What I was trying to say is, there's no need to focus on all of the details when there's a more fundamental reason why this video is obviously a hoax.
Oh, jetzt kommt die Logik. Achtung.
Of course! Getting down to the fundamentals. Observing the unobserved.
Er denkt sich einfach einmal, a joke to you.
You know the famous video experiment where you're asked to count how many times students pass the ball and you don't even notice the gorilla that walks in and makes out with one of them? No one has ever noticed the gorilla. That's why the comments are turned off. Just goes to show, sometimes you gotta look past the obvious and take a holistic view. So let's strategically ignore the sexy moon and instead pay attention to its friends, the clouds. In these expensive stock shots captured around the world, real clouds crossing the moon flow in arbitrary directions. But in the UFO video, they scroll on a perfectly horizontal axis. I guess that could be a coincidence. Let's line them all up, average the moon's scale, and retime the clouds to move at the same speed. In the stock footage, the shapes of the clouds are pretty static, but in the UFO video, they undulate.
Das riecht nach Fractal Noise. After Effects Fractal Noise. Pass auf, ich zeig euch, was ich meine. Ihr nehmt einfach einen Mond, ihr zieht ihn einfach da rein. Dann sieht er jetzt einfach so. Schön pixelig, wie auch in dem echten. Dann machen wir einfach so und dann machen wir einfach ein fraktales Rauschen da drauf. Und schon sind wir eigentlich schon fast fertig, indem wir einfach irgendwie sowas machen. Die Helligkeit ein bisschen runterziehen. Dann da jetzt noch einen Gauschen draufschmeißen. Das einmal fix auf negativ multiplizieren. Dann die Skalierung einfach ein bisschen hoch. So, und dann einfach das hier animieren. Zack, zack. Und jetzt machen wir noch ein bisschen diesen hier. Schon haben wir einen Mond mit Wolken davor. Und der Trick ist halt, das was er meint ist, dass die sich halt nicht einfach nur so bewegen, sondern die Wolken auch das hier machen. Sich quasi dass sich ihre Form verändert. Weiter geht's. Mal gucken, ob ich korrekt gespoilert habe.
Wildly, everywhere at once. The familiar simmer of expression-driven procedural noise.
Told ya!
Same with the supposed heat distortion, which wobbles uniformly all over the image until suddenly vanishing completely on frame 856. It's as if someone forgot to extend an After Effects adjustment layer to the end of the shot.
Warte mal kurz, wir bauen das mal weiter hier nach. Es ist fast so, als hätte jemand vergessen, den Layer komplett bis zu Ende zu denken. Es ist an, es ist an, es ist an, es ist an. Boop!
Hate when that happens. And what about the optics of it all? The moon is 384,000 kilometers away, and we're zooming in on a zip code with a telescope. At this focal length, even the slightest camera bumps should cause us to lose it out of shot entirely. This looks more like the shaking of a moderately long lens aiming at a
Oder einfach ein After Effects Wiggle-Effekt.
Neighbor's window. But the big shake at the start reveals something else. Most things that
Motion Blur.
stretch the height of the frame in homemade video usually skew in lateral motion
Rolling Shutter.
because of rolling shutter. But here, the moon's crescent shape stays perfectly solid during the shake. We already know that global shutter cameras, which avoid this problem, are hard to come by these days. So which kind did this anonymous amateur astronomer use for their hundreds of hours of moon footage?
After Effects.
Probably the virtual kind inside animation software, which might also explain the motion blur length, consistent with the usually default, perfectly calibrated cinematic 180-degree shutter angle. The clues
Funny.
were all there in plain sight. Isn't that right, Phil Plate?
Oh, I can talk now? Yeah, that's not what I meant at all, Captain.
Huh?
I was talking about corroborating evidence. You can analyze the imperfections of this video all you want, but at any time there are thousands of people observing the moon through a telescope.
Right. So
So if objects dozens of kilometers across, moving at dozens of kilometers per second, are flying around off the edge of the moon, I'm guessing somebody else would have seen them.
True. Aber das andere macht mehr Spaß.
yeah, that makes sense. Couldn't you have told me that earlier before I did all this work?
Oh, for
Jeez, astronomers. Well, you heard it here last, folks.
Die Videos sind so nice gemacht von ihm.
Professionals and amateurs alike have been staring at the moon continuously since it was invented. There would have been more videos, and I would have been tagged in each and every one of them. Paging Captain Disillusion, or get on this, Captain, or just at my name and nothing else, like I'm being CC'd on an internal memo, like I'm a virtual assistant in Microsoft Debunk 95. Do I look like a damn paperclip to you?
Captain Disillusion, mega nice der Channel. Ich habe viel zu lange nicht mehr reingeschaut. Bitte abonniert meine Channels, danke. Stay curious, lol.